Season 15 for the Philadelphia Union kicks off this Saturday, and with it, another quest for the club's first MLS Cup. As for Season 2 of Union Insider, well, that starts right now.
Daniel Gazdan takes the strike on, and it's off the inside of the post.
Up for the Argentine. Oh, brilliant! Martinez fires. Goal!
Hey everyone, welcome back to another season of Union Insider presented by Independence Blue Cross. I am your host, Marisa, and today I am joined by former Union defender Sheanon Williams. And no, this is not Sebastian Latou, but it is Union play-by-play announcer Dave Leno. Happy to be here with you guys heading into another Union season. And it's hard to believe it's been 91 days since the last time the Union took the field in MLS play. Gentlemen, how are you feeling heading into 2024?
I love the short off season, Marissa. It seems like I was in the booth with Sheanon it seemed like a couple of weeks ago. I know it's been a couple months, but it's great to be back with you pitch hitting for Seba tonight. Veteran group coming back to the Union, going to the semifinals last year in CONCACAF Champions Cup, also in Leagues Cup. I know we bowed out early in the playoffs at Cincinnati, but you're bringing that leadership back from last year into this year, the pedigree that we have at home, the increase in road wins. I'm looking for a stellar season, not just in MLS regular season play, but also in the other competitions as well.
Season 15 brings on new excitement, back in Champions Cup, Leagues Cup again, hopefully another playoff run. So exciting times ahead. We'll see how they navigate this season with all the games and all the changes that they've made in terms of who's in, who's out, and hopefully they'll have another good, successful season, and we'll be able to use last year as another springboard for this year.
Yeah, there will be no shortage of opportunity for exciting games because the Union have plenty coming up. And as they say, the only constant is change, and that goes for the MLS offseason as well. As with every season's end, teams shake things up and rosters change. Heading into this season, there were several question marks surrounding the status of many Philly favorites. But in the end, the club got everything in order. Here is how the Union's roster is shaking out for 2024. More players came into the Union this offseason than left, and I'm no mathematician, but that's always a good thing. And another positive is that the Union brought back two mainstays of their starting 11. Left back Kai Wagner and captain and midfielder Alejandro Bedoya are returning this year. Some newcomers to the list feature midfielder Sanders Ngabo and goalkeeper Oliver Semele. So Bedoya is back. That was a big question mark starting that conversation at the end of last season. He has been the heart and soul of this team since he arrived in 2016. What does his presence do for this club?
Marissa, he's the extension of the coach out there. I'm so happy that the Union organization got this right to bring back Ollie back. And he also has a role off the pitch as well with the technical staff and front office. So that's really cool to see. And I know Ollie didn't score in the MLS regular season. He had 0 goals, 7 assists, but had 2 goals in Leagues Cup. But he means so much more to the team in that green zone, that area right around the 18, generates a ton of assists, good partnership on the right, whether it's Olivier Bizer coming up or Nate Harriel, and also plays in beautiful balls to our forwards, Julian Carranza and Ua, and whoever else is out there. So I look for Bedoya to have a big year. I think he's going to score more, but he means so much, Sheanon, as you well know, not just on the field, but off the field with his locker room presence.
I think that's the biggest thing. I think he's really going to have an impact on some of these younger players continuing to gain success in this league. And it's important that they have somebody that's been through these moments, whether it's Champions Cup, whether it's Leagues Cup, and they have that in Alejandro Bedoya. He's going to take, I think, a lesser role on the field, but I think you're still going to see him come in and be a really good substitute at times. And also his off-the-field leadership is something that goes untalked about a lot. I think that's a huge part of why they brought him back and why they wanted him back so badly.
A season preview, guys, wouldn't be complete without a schedule preview. Here's a look at some of the notable dates for the Union in 2024. Opening day, of course, is this Saturday, February 24th, where the Union will host Chicago Fire. The team's 3 Western Conference matchups will be played against 3 playoff teams from last season: at Sporting Kansas City on March 2nd, home against the Seattle Sounders on March 9th, and home again against Real Salt Lake on April 27th. They're also going to be returning to the place where their season ended last year, Cincinnati, on June 19th to take on FCC. So Sheanon, Dave, we know the who, we know the when, but we need the what means it's time for Subaru keys to the game. But I want to talk big picture keys to the season. So what do the Union need to do in order to have success in 2024?
Marisa, my answer is squad rotation. With all the international competitions, as all Union fans know, is upcoming. Copa America, the Olympics, the Euros as well, amongst other competitions. You're going to need a lot of different players to contribute. And I want to see not just the young guys, but some guys that are kind of number 2, maybe number 3 on the depth chart get meaningful minutes. That 65th, 70th minute in games where Jim Curtin and staff says, we need to get this certain player time. So whether that's a Marcus Anderson coming from the 3rd division in Spain, or the backup goalkeeper as well, coming from Louisville City, where he had 13 shutouts last year. I think you're going to see him a lot backing up Andre Blake when he's away with international duty with Jamaica. So I expect the Union to not punt early on in the regular season. I think these are meaningful games. You don't want to chase early, but I do think you're going to need to rotate the squad more often this year.
For myself, I think for them to have a successful season, they have to be one of the best defensive teams in the league. I think that when they've had their better seasons, it's because they've been the best defensive team. I know that it's going to start with Andre Blake, the 2 center backs, and Elliott and Glesnes, and then go on from there. That's why it's important that they brought back Kai. They still have Mbaizo and Harriel, so that continuity, if they can get that right and be that defensive stalwart that they've been in the years past, I think they can be right back into the top of the East.
Yeah, when the defense and Andre Blake is on, it seems like the whole team just really follows suit. We've got more Union Insider for you in a bit, but first, here's your first Union Trivia question of the year presented by United Concordia. Sebastian Letou is a guy we all know. He scored the first ever goal in Union history, but who assisted him on that play? Find out the answer later in the show. Back with a new segment this year, our Union Insider Tweet of the Week. The Union launched their new kits last weekend ahead of the 15th season, and this fan was all in. At Ryan Hartnett said, it's perfect. Everything down to the last minute detail. And honestly, Ryan, we couldn't agree more. Welcome back to Union Insider, presented by Independence Blue Cross. I'm Marisa Pilla. A new season brings a new segment. We're excited to introduce the first rendition of Union Roundup presented by Green Mountain Energy. Throughout the year, club reporter Sage Hurley will be helping us go over all things Union, first team, Union 2, Academy, and everything in between. But her first go-around was simple yet important, sitting down with head coach Jim Curtin about how he's feeling heading into his 10th year as head coach.
What's up, Union fans? I'm Sage Hurley. Welcome to Union Roundup. Philadelphia Union's preseason has officially come to a close, and before the team headed to Costa Rica for CONCACAF Champions Cup play, I sat down with head coach Jim Curtin to talk about all of his expectations for the season to come. The 2024 season is upon us, Coach. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, you always have some questions going into any season, but I really like where this group is at. It's a great blend of experienced veterans that have been through the battles of Champions Cup, of a regular MLS season, of a Leagues Cup, and now we have a really good amount of youth sprinkled in there, guys that are going to be starters for us, and young ones coming up from our Union 2 team that I think will be contributors this year as well. So it's a really great blend of players. It's a group that I love working with. It's been fun to watch them get better and better each season, and I like where we're at. You always have these days of the preseason though where you think, are we pushing the guys too hard? Are we exactly ready for Costa Rica? But that's what coaches do. That's what we lose sleep over every night, but I think we've done a great job preparing. My technical staff has been excellent, and the players have put a lot of work into things so far in this nice Florida weather.
With all those differences and different skill sets, what kind of identity does that make for?
Yeah, I think the Philadelphia Union is one of the clubs in the league that does have a true identity. And as a head coach, that sounds like such a simple thing to create. But if you look throughout the league of the 29 teams, I'd say there's, maybe 5 or 6 that you go, I know exactly what they're trying to do each and every week. And I'm proud that we're in that cluster of teams where when people say we're turning on the Philadelphia Union today, I think I know what it's going to look like, so that's something that you strive for. Our identity, I think, is very emblematic of our city. It's a a respect for every team, but we don't fear anybody. And we will punch above our weight, and we won't back down. So we really are a group that is, a blue-collar team like the city of Philadelphia, and it's an easy team to get behind. And then the fact that you sprinkle in a lot of the homegrown talent, it's also a parochial city, and Philly Union has a parochial identity in that we really love supporting our own, and we have some really good, exciting players coming through the pipeline.
So when fans do turn on the TV this year, for every game, it won't be always that same starting crew because of all of the different international tournaments throughout the year in soccer. Depth will be so important. I know it's been a big word this offseason. Can you tell me a little bit about that and how you're going to change your methods a little bit to be able to really utilize the people you have?
Yeah, Sage, look, the Eastern Conference, first of all, is the best I've ever seen it on paper. So it's a daunting task, right? And you look at all the competitions that we have. We'll lose guys probably for the Olympics, for the Euros, for the Copa America, for international duty. But that's a good thing, because it gives others an opportunity. So we're going to have to adapt and adjust. Each game is going to be a new test. We'll need guys to be versatile and flexible and play in different positions. And some days you might be called upon to play 90 minutes, and some days you might be called upon to play 20 minutes or even 1 minute to close out a game, but you have to be ready to execute to help the Philadelphia Union get points on that day. I think our group has a good understanding of that. This is going to be a grind this year, 50-plus games probably again. We learned a lot from last season. I think we got better because of last season, and we look forward to the new challenges, but certainly there will be a lot of minutes out there for guys, and a lot of opportunities with so many guys coming in and out with national team duty.
For the team as a whole, what is the strong suit that you think will be, this is what this team brings to the table every week?
It's no secret. We've become a team that is comfortable not having the ball. And I always like to have a group that is comfortable being uncomfortable is the best way to put it. Like we don't get nervous if an opponent is putting together 40, 50 passes, but not really penetrating and going anywhere. Where we do our damage, and I think what separates the Philadelphia Union from the rest of the league is how we go in transition. So when we win the ball, how quickly and ruthless can we be turning that into an attack? And it's a fun, exciting way to play. It's taken time and a few seasons to implement, but when it gets clicking, it's really fun to watch. It's exciting for the fans. That home record that we have in our stadium is something that I'm incredibly proud of, and our fans deserve a ton of credit for that as well.
That does it for this edition of Union Roundup. Philadelphia Union start their 2024 MLS regular season on Saturday at Subaru Park against Chicago Fire. You can watch it live on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV.
As we continue to get you ready for the 2024 season, we'll take a deeper dive into one player that expects to be a big part of the team's success this year, as Quinn Sullivan gets the spotlight in our first player profile of the season. Union Insider returns after the break. Time now for our Chick-fil-A Nugget of the Week. This will be the 7th time the Union have opened their MLS season at home. In the 6 previous season openers in Chester, the Union have a record of 2-2-2. Welcome back to Union Insider, presented by Independence Blue Cross. I'm Marisa Pilla. Over the years, the Union have built a reputation for cultivating some of the best young talent in the league. One of the latest products of the Union's top-tier academy is 19-year-old Quinn Sullivan, who burst onto the scene just 2 years ago. The teenage midfielder has been waiting for an opportunity to be a major contributor to a Union side that is hungry for a deep postseason run. And this year, Sullivan is ready for his moment to shine.
I got into soccer when I was really young. I'd say I was about 4 years old when I really started playing. I come from a very large soccer family, especially in the Philadelphia area. My grandfather was a coach for many years. He coached Villanova, coached our head coach, Jim Curtin. My dad played professionally. My mom played. She captained the University of Pennsylvania. My cousin, Chris Albright, who many of you guys know, was on the Olympic team and also a World Cup team. So overall, I just come from a super large soccer family, and it was kind of in my blood. But yeah, I started playing when I was 4 and fell in love with the game. My favorite player growing up was Andres Iniesta. He's just such a free-flowing and dynamic player. He's very elusive, and it was just such a joy to watch him play. And tried to model my game as a kid after him. I just enjoyed watching him and learning from him as well. My favorite soccer memory as a kid was, it's not one specific moment, but just playing with my brothers. I have 3 younger brothers who all play soccer and all play at the MLS Next level. So it's been such a joy to grow up with them and play with them, 2v2s, 1v1s, 2v1s, just building those relationships and fighting with each other. They're all such, core memories for me and have helped me get to where I am today. So that's my favorite memories. It's very difficult to decide a defining moment and when could you be a professional soccer player. I'd say I fully dedicated myself to the craft when I was about 12 or 13. I was a 2-sport athlete with baseball and soccer, and I made the decision around that age to pursue soccer full-time and join the Union Academy U12 team. So yeah, that was probably the defining moment when I decided to pursue soccer as a professional. I'd say I have a very unique experience when it comes to the Philadelphia Union. I was born and raised in Philadelphia. I grew up coming to games, and I grew up in the academy system, Union Futures and Union Juniors program. No one except for Brandon Craig has ever had that full experience like me. So I'd say it's a super unique, but also makes it so much more special to have been in the stadiums for some very big games that the Union have played, and to now be playing in those games is a really special experience and one that not many other people can say they've had. It's so difficult to decide one specific person that has really helped me. My dad is the best coach I've ever had. In terms of little details, he has such a critical eye for the game, as well as my grandfather. They both have helped me through many different games and clipping things and looking through the film, and they've all contributed in terms of that. And then my mom as well has been such an inspirational figure and has always been there to support me, and obviously she knows the game as well. So, and then lastly is my grandmother. She's the most supportive person I know. She's at every game. She has season tickets in section 104 with my grandfather, and they don't miss a game. So all those people have been super, super vital in making me the person and player I am. I'd say my favorite play had to be my first goal. It was away in Chicago. It was my first start for the Union, and I scored a bicycle kick to start off my goal-scoring career. So made number 2 on ESPN Top Plays. So it was just such an amazing experience, and nothing stopped it yet. Some of my favorite passions outside of the game are going to the beach. I love going to the beach with my family at the Jersey Shore. We're an Ocean City family, so I love going there and spending time on the beach with them. I'm not saying I'm good, but I try and surf, and I really enjoy skimboarding, which is a more unique one than surfing, which I'm better at than surfing. Something that not many people know about me is I still do college classes at the University of Pennsylvania. My dad and my mom both graduated there, and one of my grandfathers taught there for many years. So that's something that not many people will know, but I'm currently in year 3 of getting my degree from the University of Pennsylvania.
We covered everything from the Union this offseason so far, but now let's take a look at a couple key MLS signings from the offseason in Around the League presented by Torque. Former MLS MVP is switching teams in the Eastern Conference. Joseph Martinez will be joining CF Montreal this season after spending last year with Inter Miami. The 30-year-old Martinez tallied 7 goals and 1 assist in 27 matches for Miami a season ago and will look to recapture old form up north for Montreal. More shakeup in the Eastern Conference. Top MLS free agent Miles Robinson has joined the reigning Supporter Shield winners FC Cincinnati this season. The U.S. men's national team defender goes to Cincinnati after spending 6 seasons with Atlanta United, where he helped the Five Stripes win the 2018 MLS Cup. When Union Insider returns, we'll shift our focus to the Union's first match of the season against Chicago Fire FC, as well as Dave and Sheanon to name their players to watch on Saturday. We'll be right back after this. Here's the answer to this week's Union trivia question presented by United Concordia. Roger Torres assisted Sebastian Letou for the first goal in club history on April 10th, 2010, where he sent in a beautiful cross that Sebastian headed into the net, the first of his 3 goals on the day. Always an overachiever, that Sebastian Letou. And well, fellas, we have come to the end of Union Insider presented by Independence Blue Cross, which means in order for us to put a bow on this episode, we're going to need some all-state players to watch. We've talked a lot of big picture items today, but I want to get into the details of Saturday. Who is your player to watch as the Union take on Chicago?
I look for Julian Carranza to continue his prowess for the last 2 years, back-to-back 14-goal seasons. I know there were rumors, Marisa, for him to be transferred in the offseason. I really hope that doesn't happen in the summer transfer window. And I look for guys like Ua, Ty Baribo, Marcus Anderson coming off the bench to step up, and including Daniel Gazdak to play some beautiful through balls into Carranza to score. I think he is going to have the type of year that he had a season ago, even going back into 2022. He's so integral for the Union, a team that I think will get out in the front foot and score early against Sheanon, Brady, and the Chicago side on Saturday.
For me, it's going to be somebody that might be looking to play those balls in for Carranza, and that's going to be Jack McGlynn. I think that for him, it's going to be another step forward this season. We know how many minutes he got last season. I think that's only going to help him as he continues to grow with his career and with some potentially big call-ups coming, something like the Olympics, which he could be involved in. I think it's important for him to hit the ground running and really get the season started in the right way.
Yeah, starting the season at home, nothing is better than that. And just like that, show 1 is in the books. Thank you so much for joining us as we get ready for the Union's 2024 home opener against the Chicago Fire this Saturday, 7:30 p.m. on Apple TV. If radio is more your speed, JP Delacamera and Sebastian Letou will be on the call, 97.5 The Fanatic. So for Sheanon and Dave, I'm Marissa, and we'll see you next week.